A very good morning to all of you. Myself, Dr. Preeti Yadav. I am working as assistant professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurugram. I am from Applied Science Department. Today, I will discuss magnetic field, Biot-Savart's law, divergence, and curl of magnetic field B. Magnetic field. In electrostatics, we have studied that a static charge produces an electric field. Therefore, electric field is a region or a space around a source charge in which if another charge is placed, then that charge experiences some force, and that force may be force of attraction or repulsion. Also, the electric field at a particular point can be due to one or more charges. If there are more charges, the fields add vectorially using principle of superposition. Therefore, static charge produce an electric field, whereas a moving charge or current through the conductor produces a magnetic field. As a result, the magnetic field is a space or region around a conductor carrying current, or the space around a moving charge or around a magnet is a source of both electric field as a magnetic field. It is denoted by a B, which is a vector. Here are the some sources of magnetic field. Current in a wire also produce magnetic field. Is the loop of wire also produce magnetic field around it. This is a solenoid. These lines are the magnetic field lines. Here the bar magnet where there is a north pole and this is the south pole, and these lines represents the magnetic field lines. Magnetic field lines means these are the imaginary lines that represent magnetic field. From outside the direction of magnetic field lines from north to south, whereas inside the direction of magnetic field lines from south to north. And the earth is a major source of magnetism. Now, magnetic field is also called magnetic induction or magnetic flux density. The effective magnetic field B at a point due to magnetic field of several sources is equal to the vector addition of magnetic field of each individual source at a particular point. Here, this is the resultant magnetic field that is equal to B1 magnetic field at a point due to one source, and B2 at a point due to other source, and B3 is from the third source. And therefore, it means the magnetic field obeys superposition principle. In order to define the magnetic field B, we find an expression for the force on a moving charge in a magnetic field. Let us consider a positive charge Q moving with a moving in a uniform magnetic field B with the velocity v. Here three coordinates x, y, and z. Resolve velocity component in velocity in two component, v cos theta horizontal component and v sin theta which is perpendicular to component of B, and here F is a force which is along z axis. Due to interaction between the magnetic field produced due to moving charge and magnetic field applied, the charge Q then experience a force which depends on the factors that are given. The magnitude of force experienced by the moving charge is directly proportional to the magnitude of the charge that produces magnetic field. Next, the magnitude of force is directly proportional to the component of velocity acting perpendicular, the component of velocity v sin theta acting perpendicular to the magnetic field, direction of magnetic field, that is F is directly proportional to V sin theta. And the next is directly proportional to the magnitude of the magnetic field applied. F is directly proportional to B. If B increase, then force is also increased. Combining these all the factors, the resultant force is directly proportional to Q V B sin theta. And proportionality constant, remove the proportional, and this is the proportionality constant K, and its value is found to be 1, that is K is equal to 1, that F is equal to Q V B sin theta in magnitude form, and where we know that in curl V cross B we used sin theta, therefore F is equal to Q V cross B, and F is equal to Q V cross B. And now the direction of F. The direction of F is the direction of cross product of velocity and magnetic field, which is perpendicular to the plane containing V and B. It is directed by right-handed screw rule or right-hand rule. Here, F is perpendicular to the plane which is containing V cross B. For positive charge and for negative charge acting downwards, here the source of charge is source of magnetic field due to negative charge minus Q. Now the next topic is Biot-Savart's law, which is a very important topic. Biot and Savart's are two scientists that give the value of magnetic field at a particular point due to a current carrying conductor. This law deals with the magnetic field induction at a point due to a small current carrying element. That is a part of any conductor carrying current. Basically, this law calculate the magnitude of magnetic field at a particular point. Here, this is a diagram. Here, XY represents the conductor carrying a current I. It is a point P where we have to find the magnitude of magnetic field due to a small current carrying element AB, whose length is dl, and the making angle theta with the point P. The R is the position vector with the distance of point P from the element is R. Now, according to Biot-Savart's law, the magnitude of the magnetic field at a point P due to current carrying conductor depends upon factors. First is dB. dB means magnitude of magnetic field is directly proportional to I, because if I is more means number of charged particles are more, then the value of magnetic field is increased. Second is dB is directly proportional to dl. If the length of the dl increase, that it contains, if the length of dl is this, then it contains suppose 10 electrons. If the length is increased up to this point, then the number of charged particle increased. Number of charged particle increase means magnitude of the magnetic field also increase. Therefore, there is a direct relation between magnetic field and the current and the length of the element. Third is dB is directly proportional to sin theta, the angle between element and the position at point where we have to find magnetic field. And the fourth point, dB is inversely proportional to R square. Here, if we increase this distance, then the magnitude of the magnetic field decrease. Therefore, there is a inversely proportional relationship. Combining all these factors, dB is directly related to ideal sin theta upon R square. Remove this constant, remove this proportionality, and we used K, which is proportionality constant, K ideal sin theta upon R square. and here K is a constant of proportionality. In SI units, where K is equal to mu naught upon में 4 pi, and in CGS, K is equal to 1. Here mu naught is the absolute magnetic permeability of free space, and the value of mu naught is equal to 4 pi into 10 to the power minus n Weber ampere inverse meter inverse. And in SI units, dB is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi, because in SI K is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi ideal sine theta upon में r square, whereas CGS system dB is equal to ideal sine theta upon r square, because in CGS K is equal to 1. Now in vector form we may write this equation: dB mu naught upon में 4 pi I dl cross r is a vector. Here we change rq because here we used unit vector r unit vector, and the value of r unit vector is equal to r vector upon its modes. Therefore here rq and r vector, and the final result is mu naught upon में 4 pi I dl cross r cube in vector form. Now the direction of dB from equation 1, it is clear that the direction of the cross product dl cross r, it is represented by the right-handed screw rule. Magnetic field induction at a point due to current through entire wire. Entire wire means total length of the wire. Therefore, integrate this equation B. Now integrate dB, converted into B, mu naught upon 4 pi I dl cross r upon में r cube. 10 P is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi I dl sin theta upon में r square. Now Biot-Savart's law in terms of current density J is equal to dB mu naught upon 4 pi J cross r upon में r cube dV, where J is the current density. As we know that J is equal to current upon में area, and multiply and divide by dl, IDL upon में ADL, and IDL we know that area into length is volume. Therefore we change the value of IDL in the previous IDL by J dV. Therefore, this is the final expression of magnetic field in terms of current density J. There is current density at any point on the current element and volume of the element. Now, some important features of Biot-Savart's law. The first is Biot-Savart's law is valid for a symmetrical current distribution. Now, the second is Biot-Savart's law is applicable only to a very small length conductor carrying current. And the third is this law is analogous to Coulomb's law in electrostatics. Also, this law cannot be easily verified experimentally, as the current carrying conductor of very small length cannot be obtained practically. Also the direction of dB is perpendicular to both IDL and R. And the next point, if theta is equal to 0, that is the point P lies on the axis of linear conducting carrying current. Here, if theta is equal to 0, then P lies on this current carrying conductor. Then dB is equal to 0, because the value of sine 0 is 0. Therefore, at this point, there is no magnetic field. If theta is equal to 90, then the point P lies at a perpendicular position with respect to current element. Then the value of dB is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi IDL by r square, which is the maximum value of magnetic field at point P. Also, if theta is equal to 180, then dB is also 0, that is minimum, because sine 180 is also 0. There are some similarities and dissimilarities between the Biot-Savart's law for the magnetic field and Coulomb's law for electrostatic field. The similarities between Biot-Savart's law and Coulomb's law are: first is both the laws for fields are long-range order, since in both the laws the field at a point varies inversely as the square of the distance from the source to point of observation. And the second point, both the fields obey superposition principle. And the third point, magnetic field is linear in the source ideal, just as the electric field is linear in its source, the electric charge Q. And the dissimilarities between these two laws, first is the electrostatic field is produced by scalar source, namely the current electric charge Q, whereas the magnetic field is produced due to a vector source current carrying element ideal. Second is the electrostatic field is acting along the displacement vector, that is the line joining the source and the field point. The magnetic field is acting perpendicular to the plane containing the current element ideal and displacement vector r, that is along the direction of ideal cross r. And the third point is the electrostatic field at a point due to a charge is independent of angle theta, whereas the magnetic field at a point due to a current element is angle dependent. It means Coulomb's law is independent of angle, whereas the Biot-Savart's law is angle dependent. These are the some similarities and dissimilarities between Coulomb's law in electrostatics and Biot-Savart's law in magnetostatics. Now the next topic is divergence. First of all, what is divergence? Divergence is the outflow of flux. Flux means magnetic lines of force from a small closed surface as volume shrinks to zero. Here the divergence is the flow of flux. These lines represent the flux, means magnetic field lines. Flow of flux from a small closed surface area per unit volume. Now the example of divergence: air leaving a punctured tire, means air leave. So it means divergence is positive because the flow flux in the outward direction. Here, as closed surface tire is a closed surface, exhibits net outflow. Now the divergence measures source and drain of flow. Here at a point, divergence at a point of vector, any vector field F. Here the flow of flux is outward direction. Therefore, divergence of F at point P is greater than 0. And this is like a source. And here the flow flux inward direction, means divergence of F at a point P is less than 0, means negative, then P is a sink. It means if delta F is greater than 0, this is a source. If divergence of F, del means divergence dot del dot F represent divergence of vector field F. If del dot F is less than 0, it means this is a sink. If divergence of F is equal to 0, therefore it means there is no source or sink. Now, what is the physical interpretation of the divergence? Consider a vector field AF that represents a fluid velocity. The divergence of F at a point in a fluid is measure of the rate at which the fluid is flowing away from or towards that a point. Away from or towards that a point. A positive divergence is indicate flow away from the point. Positive means flow away from the point. Negative means towards the point. The lines of flow diverge from a source and converge to a sink. This is means diverged, and this is means converge to a sink. If there is no gain or loss of fluid anywhere, then divergence of F is equal to 0. Therefore, there is no gain or no loss of fluid anywhere at a point, anywhere in the region at a point, then divergence of F at this particular point is 0. Now, what is the physical interpretation of the curl? Curl is represented by del cross f any vector. Curl means rotation. It measures the rotation of a fluid. Let us consider a field that represents a fluid velocity. The curl of at a point in a fluid is measure of the rotation of the fluid. If there is no rotation of fluid anywhere, then del cross f is 0. Such a vector field is said to be irrotational or conservative. For a 2D flow with f represent the fluid velocity, del cross f is perpendicular to the motion and represents the direction of axis of rotation. Here, the two-dimensional flow. Here, there is no rotation, means there at this region del cross f is 0 and also called irrotational flow. In this case, there is a rotation of the flow. Therefore, this is a rotational flow, and here curl of f is not equal to 0. Now, in my topic, what is the divergence of B? Now we know that due to solenoidal nature of magnetic field, because magnetic field lines are continuous, due to solenoidal nature, B dot ds is equal to 0. Cross surface integral of magnetic field is 0. Therefore, according to Gauss divergence theorem, d dot ds is equal to del dot d dv from equation 1. D dot ds is equal to 0. Therefore, divergence of B is equal to 0. Therefore, divergence of B is equal to 0. Also, it is not, in case of magnetic field, it is not possible to isolate magnetic poles. You cannot have a north pole without a south pole. Hence, the magnetic charge density must be 0 everywhere. This means that the divergence of the magnetic field must also be 0. Vector fields with 0 divergence are called solenoidal fields, and hence all magnetic fields are solenoidal. Now, what is the curl of B represented by del cross B? According to Ampere's circuital law, we know that B dot dl is equal to mu naught I. I is a current. But according to Stokes theorem, B dot dl is equal to line integral change into surface integral del cross B dot ds. And from this, B dot dl is equal to del cross B dot ds, or also B dot dl is equal to mu naught J dot ds for continuous surface current density. Here J is the surface current density, and we replace I by J dot ds. Using equation 2 and 3, del cross B dot ds is equal to mu naught J dot ds. Taking common all these factors, now the resultant is del cross B dot ds is equal to mu naught J. And then the important question of these topics are